Hey, everybody. Um, I've kind of had a little bit of a cold the last couple of days, so hopefully I'm clear to you all today. But I wanted to come on and I'm talking about my investHER series. You know, we're going out with a road show and we're helping female investors and every kind of investor to get into the game because the only way to build generational wealth in this country is through real estate. You all have heard me say it. Guys, rates have dropped 1.5% in the last, let's say, 6 weeks. For every 1% it drops, it brings in 8 million buyers. And boy, did we see it this weekend. I mean, crazy, crazy. I literally went to an open house, not an open house, I went to a showing appointment with some clients of mine. And there was one before us, then there was us, there was one after us, and one waiting on the curb. That has not happened in a very long time. Everything's moving faster. More buyers are in the market. People are excited. They're feeling confident again, and we're seeing it. So I want to talk about one of my investment strategies. Now, this is only going to be pertinent to you if you're over 55 years old, and in some cases, 62 years old. I'm going to talk about the reverse mortgage. So the reverse mortgage is something that got put into place many, many, many years ago. And it was to help seniors. And God, it's like at 55, you're a senior. That's frightening. But it's to help seniors take the equity out of their homes and be able to live a better life, right? Because you're not having to make payments on this. You're not having to pay taxes on the money, right? And so when you're in an inflationary situation where somebody's on a fixed income, okay, let's say it's Social Security, and you've got 28% in 2023 inflation, okay? So now all of a sudden, that income doesn't go as far. So I'm not really talking about it for that reason, although it's an excellent, excellent vehicle for that. I'm talking about it because someone like me, possibly someone like you know, I am not 62 years old, but my husband is, and our house is paid for. And if we wanted to, we could take out up to 60% of the value of our home right now. And we could take it in a lot of different ways. We could take it in a lump sum. We could take it as a line of credit, which is what I'd recommend. Because, you know, if you're not going to use the money, don't start drawing on the money. Or you could take it out in monthly increments. Now, I'm not going to get into all of the mechanics of it, but I want to put it out there for your consideration. So you might be watching this and it might be something good for your parents, your grandparents, or maybe you're one of my friends and it's good for you. And that's what we're going to talk about. So especially in Texas, I'm really going to talk to Texas because that's really where I'm an expert. Our money gets tied up in our homes, right? And the reason you want your home paid for by the time of retirement age, and that's what all the books tell you to do, is get your house paid for by the time you retire. And why is that important? So, you know, if you want to go on to a fixed income, you're not going to be straddled with a mortgage payment. But imagine if your home is paid for and you're able to take, now follow me, because I don't use slides. You know me, guys. I just talk you guys through this stuff. You take the equity, okay? You take the equity from your house, and at 62 or 65 years old, in Texas, I believe you can take about 60 to 65%. It really does depend on your age. It depends on the equity, but let's just say you can take 60% of the value of your house. So let's say in my case, that's, you know, $500,000, $600,000. What you could go do with that money, okay? You could take that money and you could buy a couple of income producing assets that throw off rent every month. So where I live, you could buy a duplex, okay, that would kick off about $4,000 a month. So if I took $400,000 out of the house I live in now, okay, and I kicked it over to a duplex, which I'm going to look at tomorrow, by the way, in Temple, Texas. And let's talk about Temple, Texas. Temple is the 7th fastest growing city in America right now. It's up by me here in Bell County. And they're going to have a housing shortage in 5 years. So what does that mean? That asset's going to appreciate. So, sorry, kids, if you're watching this, because it does affect, obviously, what you leave your kids someday when you die. But what if I took $400,000 out of the house I live in now and I bought a duplex? Okay, I just bought a duplex, paid cash for it, and that duplex kicked off $4,000 a month. Now, for a lot of people, that would be life changing. When they're in their golden years, they're in their retirement age. So we're not retired yet. So I don't need to go to that extreme yet, but it's great to know that that's available if and when I need to do it. Now, it's a federally backed program, which I know, don't be scared. It's considered an FHA program. And you can go up to a home value of $1 million, I think it's $1,147,000 on this program, and take 60 to 70% of that, depending on what your house is worth, depending how old you are, depending on how much money you want to take, and depending on which program you take. So why do I think so? Full disclosure, I was in the mortgage business for many years. You guys know that. I own Austin Mortgage Associates. My husband still runs it today. I was not for that program 20 years ago. I thought it was ridiculous. But as I go and I get older, right, and as the cost of living gets higher, as there is a threat to Social Security, and there is, let's be real, so there's a threat to that, why not have an asset that is kicking off cash, right, kicking off money, is appreciating at 8 to 12% a year. You're pulling it off of your homestead that, by the way, let me give you the 6 reasons, I think I did. Yeah, 6 reasons for a reverse income, a reverse mortgage. You never have to pay it off. And you don't have to pay it off depending on the ages. If you and your husband are both 62 years old, one can die and it's never ever paid off until the second one dies. Now, if the second spouse, like me, is under 62 years old, it's basically a different video, okay? But they also have jumbos that are conforming loans up to $6 million for cash out, and you only have to be 55 years old. But you know the beautiful thing about these? They're non-recourse. And what does non-recourse mean? That means you never, like, let's say the house goes upside down, the market crashes. Let's say I borrowed $400,000 on this house. God forbid my husband and I die, and our house is worth $300,000 when it's time to pay off the loan because we're both in the ground. My heirs, Alex and JT, would not have to pay back the negative equity. That's why it's called non-recourse. So it's the safest loan in the world. If it appreciates, right? If it appreciates and it goes up, then your heirs can sell the property and minus the payoff, and then they get to keep the equity. God, has there ever been a program designed by the federal government? And it goes back to Ronald Reagan years. Designed by the federal government that's actually pro-American senior citizen. This is one of them. And it's something that I've got in my arsenal. Of course, I am not a licensed loan officer, just so you guys know. I do own a mortgage company, but I've got people that can do these loans. I am not licensed, so I'm just giving you a high level of the details of this loan. So here are the 5 reasons to do a reverse mortgage. You can supplement your retirement income. You can stay in your home. Like, how many times do people say, I just can't even afford to stay in this house anymore? Okay. There's no monthly mortgage payments. Now, you do have to keep up your taxes and your insurance. Full disclosure there. Okay. You got to be able to pay your taxes. But if you're in a position you can't pay your taxes, you really do need to sell your house. I mean, really, truly. It's a non-recourse loan, which is what we talked about. The payments are flexible, one lump sum, monthly, or line of credit, which I would take a line of credit, right? So because then that way you don't pay interest on the money that you're not using. And the money's tax-free because it's a debt. So it's not like pulling out of an IRA or something like that where you could potentially be penalized and taxed on it. Like, that's kind of exciting, right? Oh, I had some comments over here. Sorry. Oh, you're welcome, Lolita. So it is one of the greatest. So another fun fact. There's more equity in homes today than there's ever been in this country. All right. So we're not crashing. That's not happening. There's no mortgage meltdown. Um, so why suffer? Why live on why live in a scarcity mentality? Like, okay, my home is paid for and I can pay my taxes, but I can't afford to do anything else in life. Okay. Why not take the equity in your home and leverage it? Now, I'm not talking about going and mortgaging your house and being extravagant. I'm talking about leveraging it on a asset, buying an asset that produces cash flow. And I've got these incredible new construction duplexes in Temple that are, I think, $405 to $425,000. Brand new construction, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $2,000 a month each side in rent. I mean, hello, that's $4,000 cash flow. Let's kick $1,000 off of that for expenses or whatever, taxes. Okay, let's just be conservative. But would $3,000 a month, every month, change somebody's life if they were on a fixed income, a retirement income? I know so many clients, so many women especially, and you guys have heard me talk about this. Women are at a disadvantage when it comes to investing. When it, men are worth $1 million more. There's $1 million disparity between men and women at 50 years old. Same education, same income, same everything. But men will go out and they'll invest, and women hold their money in cash. The problem with cash is it's deflating by the minute. Because if inflation is sitting at 28% and you're earning 5% at the bank, you're a negative 23%. But if you could invest that cash or the equity in your home into an appreciating asset, it'll appreciate 8 to 15% a year, depending on the deal. And then you kick off cash flow. I mean, it's a game changer. It'll change your life. It could change your life if you're watching this. It could change your parents' life. Oh, let's see what Lolita says. Can the spouse that's still alive sell the house after the spouse dies, or does the sale have to be after both individuals die on title? Perfect question. No, my husband kicks the bucket and we had a reverse mortgage, I'm selling the house, most likely, because I would downsize. That's just me. So yes, I could sell it and I could pay it off. Of course, you have to pay off the mortgage. And if you're not making a mortgage payment on it every month, right, that gets tacked on to the loan. So like, let's say you borrow $400,000 and that mortgage payment, if you made monthly mortgage payments, which you can, by the way, just so you know, you can, is $1,500 a month. Okay, let's just pretend. That $1,500 a month, every month, gets tacked on to what you borrowed. So month 2, you owe $400,150. I'm not even going to try. $401,500, and then you can do the math from there. Okay, but we're going under the premise that we're trying to outrun inflation. So why would that be okay? Because that house is going up in value, right? So that will help your heirs pay it off, because it'll be worth a lot more money than when you borrowed from it if you live in my part of the country and Lolita's part of the country. Or then you would own a second property that you would own free and clear. You could sell that asset. You're going to make money over there also. If you do this right, y'all, you'll leave your kids in better shape than if you just sat on your home equity and waited to sell it someday. Plus, you'd have some cash flow. You could go on some cruises. You could buy more investment properties. My goal is to help 100 families in 2024 build their empires. So I am digging, like dig. I am looking to see what is out there so that we can maximize what we already have. And for so many of us who are in our 50s, and for those other people in their 60s, we're sitting on so much equity. There's so much opportunity to leverage, right? Leverage is the name of the game. And when you're not in your income producing years, you've got to learn how to leverage your assets. So reverse mortgage, I'm all about it. I think it's amazing for the right people if you're going to use it for the right reasons. Okay. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, shoot me a DM. I'm gonna, I know, here, well, there is my email address. Shoot me an email. Just ask me questions. Like, I've been studying this now for several days. I've been kind of down for the count the last few days. So I've been home studying it. And like I said, we were in the reverse mortgage business many years ago. I wasn't sold on it then. Why? Because in my mind, it didn't make sense to me because I wasn't at that point in life. So anyways, it's definitely a great alternative. And if you guys want to know more about Temple, Texas, I'm pretty hot on Temple right now. I will tell you this, Georgetown, Texas is the #1 fastest growing community in the country right now. And of the top 10, 7 of them are on the I-35 corridor. It's pretty crazy. But Georgetown's already built in the pricing. The pricing's already built into it being such a hot area. So I believe with all of the industry and business that's coming to Temple, that that we're going to be able to, I don't believe this. This is a stat I know for a fact. There's going to be a housing shortage. What does that mean if there's a shortage? Supply and demand, prices go up. But why I like it for investors is because there's a lot of blue collar industry in Temple, and a lot of those people rent, and they're looking for a nice place to rent. They're looking for good landlords like you and me that will deliver a great product at a fair price, and they will be paying for our mortgages, not us. So it's a win-win for everybody. Anyways, I'd love for you to be one of the 100 families that I help in 2024 build generational wealth through real estate. It's Lisa Copeland. I hope you're having a great day. Be sure to shoot me an email if you've got any questions. Bye-bye.